Today I'm going to show you how to make beef liver pâté. Before we can get started with liver in any way, shape and form, we have to prep it. Since liver is something that detoxifies our body, sometimes there's toxins that stays in the liver after the cow has been slaughtered. So the best thing to do that, and the most efficient way to draw out some of these toxins, is to soak it in lemon juice for, I sometimes soak it a day, sometimes 2 days, whenever I get back to my liver again. So you need about 2 pounds or 1 pound, depending on how much you're going to make. So let's just say mine is about 2 pounds right here. So I'm going to lay in some, actually I'm going to pour a little lemon juice in here. So it's like that. And I'm going to put this liver on top. Now I'm going to close this up. I'm going to put it in my fridge for a good 2 days. I'll see you guys when this comes out of the fridge. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make beef liver pâté. First I chopped up 2 red onions. You can use any yellow onions, whatever onions, sweet onions even that you like to use. I used 2 chopped red onions. Then you're going to need about a nice big tablespoon of lard or ghee or duck fat or whatever you choose to use. I'm going to use lard for today. And then I chopped up, well this was bacon ends. Sometimes when you buy a whole pig, they'll give you bacon ends. So it's bigger chunks of bacon right here. I would say this is probably a good, well, a cup, but maybe 6 slices of bacon or so. And you're going to put that in with the onions and switch your oven on to, your stovetop on high. And you're going to saute this. When the temperature is really hot, you're going to turn it down a little bit and saute it a little more. When it is ready, and for me to add the next ingredient, I'll see you then. Come back. Mr. Cameraman, can you zoom in on this a little bit? You can see how these onions are nice and brown. The bacon has started cooking the fat out of it. And I switch it to a much lower heat. So I'm on a medium heat right now. Let's add the garlic. Garlic cooks a lot faster than onions do, so I add the garlic later. You can always put more or less. And this is about just a little over half a tablespoon. Garlic, that's about 2 cloves of garlic. You can put in 3 or 4. Alright, and some spices. So for this one I pretty much use salt and pepper and rosemary. So since there's a bunch of steam coming off my pot, I just grind some pepper right here in this little thing. Excellent. And a little bit of salt. Okay. And all this is always to your preference. You can always add more later. You can't really take it away. Excellent. You don't want the garlic to burn on the bottom of the pan. Alright, now we're ready to add the liver. Now this liver soaked for 3 days in lemon juice. It improves the flavor. I washed it off and I chopped it up into little pieces like that. Alright, I'm going to add this to all of it. Increase the temperature just a little bit. I add the rosemary much later. It's a fresh herb. I want it to stay very aromatic in this dish. And now we cook this until it's really nice and soft. And when it's right there, I'll be back. Okay, 7 minutes have passed now, and you can see that it's almost a little bit mealy. And you can see that if I took this knife, this wooden spoon and stuck it through it, I can actually stick it straight through that. We're ready to add the rosemary now. Easiest way, cut a sprig of rosemary, hold the very top of it, and then just pull the leaves off. Sprinkle that in there. And sprinkle that in there. Right quick. Mix it in with everything. Alright, I'm going to turn this down to low. And I'm gonna make sure that the rosemary is in everything, it's in all the juice. I'm gonna put the lid on. And I'm just gonna wait a good 10 minutes. I want this liver to be really nice and soft because I am gonna puree it and I want the texture of it to be as creamy as possible. I'll see you then. The liver has sat in this pot for quite some time now for it to steam and get really nice and soft. Alright. This is my favorite piece of equipment in my kitchen. It makes almost anything edible. Once I'm done doing this, I'll be back to show you how to jar it. Now, we want to jar them in nice small containers so that you don't have to open a huge container and have to use it really quickly all of it when you would like to start using this. And obviously nobody can eat all this at once. So, be conservative with it. We're going to scoop it in here. I'm just going to wipe the edge off. Slide this on top. And turn it on really good. Now, you can see that that's not pulled in yet, but once it cools down in the fridge, it pulls the vacuum and it definitely extends the length of this. Smakelijk eten! Now that you have your beef liver pâté prepared and you have a can and a jar and everything, now you're gonna serve it to your family. I would say the best time to serve it to your family is when everybody comes home from work and they're starving and they want to eat dinner, but dinner's not quite prepared yet. And that is something that you can serve to them, because coming back from swim practice as a kid, let me tell you, I probably would have eaten anything. So that's probably the best time to serve it. Today I'm going to show you just 2 methods how to prepare this so that your family want to eat it. The first method is a pinwheel or a roll-up, and for that you're going to need a nice big burrito-sized tortilla. This is a sprouted grain tortilla. Here's the beef liver pâté. I have some sliced up dill pickles. I have some cheese sliced up, some stone ground mustard. Alright, let's heat up this tortilla so when we roll it up, it doesn't crack. So, let's switch the stove on a little bit. Very similar to when you heat up a pucky. So, they're starting to warm up. Alright, great. Put that on there. Now, we'd like to spread the beef liver pâté. So this is a nice sealed jar. And that pops open. Alright. It spreads like a nice soft spread, kind of like peanut butter. Alright, now you want to layer these other ingredients. Let's see. We'll put the pickles up first. And I'm going to roll it this way, so I'm going to put my little pickles in the direction. I'm going to roll it in. Great. Then let's put a little bit of cheese. Oh, good, very nice. And now I'd like to use a little bit of stone ground mustard. This is nice and tart. Alright, now we're going to roll it up. Start right over here. Alright. And that little piece of pâté right there helps this part stick really nicely. So you can slice it in little wheels or big wheels or whatever, but I'm going to slice it in 3 pieces. 1 and 2. And that is what they look like right there. A nice little appetizer. Hold your family over for dinner. Get this stuff in them. Alright, that's going to be my lunch today. Then, the other way of doing this a very economical way. This is probably one of the most nutrient dense dishes you can make. We start with broth made from scratch. This is a mixed bone broth. It's got chicken and beef and pork in it. So I'm going to heat this up till it's boiling, super hot. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. This is about 3/4 of a liter, 3 cups. So let's put this in here, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. This is just to taste. This is also just for one serving right here. Let's put this up. Some fresh chives from the garden. You can't go wrong with those. They taste amazing in broth. Okay, now we want to mix in the beef liver pâté to this. And I have a tablespoon right here. That's a really nice serving of pâté right there. Chock full of vitamins. The broth is chock full of minerals. Very good. Alright, I have to wait for this to boil a little bit, but while it's getting there, I'm just trying to melt the beef liver pâté in this liquid right here. So let's see now. Once this is heated up to a complete boil, I'm going to add these 2 eggs in there. You can add 3 or 4. I'm just going to add 2 in, and it's nice and hot. It's going to cook almost immediately in here, and then I'm going to just break up the yolks and break up the whites so it becomes these little stringy pieces. I would say this is probably the most economical way to eat it. If you want to make beef liver pâté or any liver, you really go out of your way to buy the organic kind. So it lasts a lot longer. You have broth, very inexpensive to make. You have eggs, not that expensive to buy. And put this together and you have a wonderful nutrient dense meal. This is perfectly prepared. This is what it looks like in the pot. And for today, I'm just going to pour this into a thermos for later. And this is kind of a great breakfast or a great lunch, or use it in the place of coffee, or it's great. Get that to work. Two very nutrient dense meals. And that's it. Beef liver pâté concluded. Smakelijke eten.